right, so those are my two different types of special solutions. I could have no solution today, or I could have all real numbers, or I could just have one solution. And that's what we've been doing for the past couple of days. My one solution is 2, 3, 1, 7, whatever it is. So let's solve. Notice how for numbers 1, 2, and 3, it doesn't say that you have to solve a specific way. You can choose any way you want to. So you could solve for y, put it in your graphing calculator, see where they intersect. You could do substitution, you could do elimination. But guys, the reason why we teach you so many ways is because if you know all the different ways, you can just look at the problem and see how it's set up for you. And then you can just decide, oh, this way would be easiest. So look at this way. Which way would be easiest for this problem, the way that it's already set up? Elimination. Yeah, elimination, right? Do you see how your x's are on top of x's, your y's are on top of y's, your numbers are on top of numbers? So all I have to do is eliminate them by adding them together. So x, negative x cancels out. 3, negative 3 cancels out. So left over, I have 0 equals, and then just you have to add 6 plus 3 is 9. So this is me showing my work. I don't have that much work to show, but I still showed something, right? I didn't just write the final answer. So I have 0 equals 9. So what is my answer? No solution, because 0 does not equal 9. So it would be no solution. And remember, if I were to graph it, that means my lines would be parallel. So that's the first one. Let's do the second one. Now I can solve it any way I want to, but look at how the problem is set up. What would be the easiest way to solve this one? Lance? Elimination again, right? Because look, x is on top of x's, y is on top of y's, numbers on top of y's. Or sorry, numbers. So let's add them. 6, negative 6 cancels out. 6, negative 6 cancels out. So this side I have a 0. Oh, negative 3, positive 3 cancels out. I have 0. Okay, this is me showing my work. I got 0 equals 0. Infinitely many, right? Because this is true. 0 does equal 0. So I can write infinitely many solutions, or I can write all real numbers. Either one is fine. But basically, what did they do? They wrote the same exact equation, but they just wrote it in two different ways. But they wrote the same exact thing, just in two different ways. So I have infinitely many solutions. My line is on top of my other line. All right, finally, this one. What's the easiest way to solve for this one? Hudson? Elimination again. So guys, as much as you may or may not love graphing, because it just tells you the answer in your calculator, when you hit second, calc, intersect, enter, 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 sometimes elimination honestly is easier. So let's add, because 5 negative 5 is just 0. So 2 plus 3 is 5x. Negative 3 plus 8 is 5. Oh, so what does x equal, guys? 1. Okay, x equals 1. So I already know that how many solutions do I have? One solution. But so what is the solution?
The answer.
Well, obviously. So let's plug it back in then. So I know that x equals 1. Plug it back into one of the original ones. Do you want to plug it in the top one or the bottom one? Bottom one. Okay, because it looks easier, right? There's no negatives. It just looks easier. So 3 times x plus 5y equals 8. So I'm just going to plug it back in. I have 3 plus 5y equals 8. Two-step equation. So my final answer is 1, 1. And I have one solution. So you can still have one solution. If your x's and your y's do not just completely cancel out, that means you do have one solution. And that's it. Okay, let's look at your level work really quick. I just want to clarify a couple things with you, okay? And then I'm done. I mean, there's not much to talk about today. All right, for numbers 1, 2, 3, it asks you to solve it. And do you have one solution, no solutions, infinitely many? And then match it with the picture. So tell me right now, letter A, is this a picture of one solution, no solution, or infinitely many? One, because it touches right there. What about letter B? One, infinitely many, or no? Infinitely many, because it's the same exact line. Letter C, what do you think? No solution, because they're never going to touch. So solve it, get your answer, and then connect it to whatever picture it should look like, okay? Numbers 4, 5, and 6, it says use the slopes and the y-intercepts to compare. Because remember, if you have the same slope and a different y-intercept, it's parallel, so it's no solution. If you have different slopes, then it's one solution. If you have same slopes and same y-intercepts, then it's infinitely many. Okay, if you really don't want to solve it by doing slopes and line stuff, just solve it normally like we have been, and then just get your answer that way. That's fine too. Okay, backside, 7, 8, 9, solve it however you want to. Just make sure you show some sort of work and then get your answer. And then 10 and 11. Okay, do you want to do 11 together or do you think you can do it by yourself? All right, if you feel like you can do it by yourself, ignore me, okay? Start with number 1 then. But for those of you who want to do it together, then let's do it together. All right, number 11. You have $15 in savings. Your friend has $25 in savings. Man, that's not that much money. You're actually saving money. You better get to it. You both start saving $5 per week, guys. $5 per week is not going to get you anywhere. Up that number 2. Write a system of linear equations that represents this situation. Okay, so I have 2 equations. You try to write it yourself. Let me give you 30 seconds just to think about it. Okay, and then we'll go from there.
Mom, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yep.
My name is Sophia McGregor. You in here? Yes. Grab all your stuff, sweetie, and your backpack and everything.
So try to write the equation, guys. Okay, does anyone think they have the answer here? Haley, what do you think? Well, not the answer, sorry, but the equations. Okay, so here's you. You have $15, so you're at 15. You save $5 a week, so it's plus 5x. And then here's your friend. Your friend has $25 and you save 5x, so $5 a week. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And so this is what you're solving. Now, if this says, will you ever have the same amount? That means, will your 2 lines ever cross? Because if they don't cross, then you're never going to have the same amount. If they're the same line, then you don't have enough information. Basically, that's what it is. Okay? All right, so I think you can do the rest by yourself. All of